Hello guys. Welcome to another video with the Mergers and Acquisitions Institute. My name is Ollie. Today we are broadening our understanding on mergers further. Here are the contents for today's topic. We will properly define a merger, discover numerous merger initiatives, and finally look at a case study of Heinz and Kraft Foods. And here are our learning objectives. By the end of this lesson, you should have a basic understanding of what a merger is, be able to analyze the motives behind a merger, and apply this knowledge to a real-world example. Let's begin. So, what is a merger? A merger is an example of a joint business venture. It is a voluntary business restructuring method used to combine two companies to create one brand new entity. Companies will agree to a merger if they expect a good level of synergy between themselves, and if they believe they can generate greater profits together. We will first look at two different types of mergers: an absorption merger and an amalgamation or consolidation merger. An absorption merger usually occurs between companies in the same sector or industry to increase market share or achieve economies of scale. The surviving company takes or absorbs the non-surviving company's assets, liabilities, and employees. When that happens, the absorbing company continues to exist upon the merger, but the absorbed company no longer exists. A prime example of an absorption merger is Facebook's deals. Facebook absorbed Instagram and WhatsApp, with all social media platforms now operating under the Meta parent company. Generally, the acquiring company A is the surviving company, usually due to the fact it has stronger financials or a more significant market reputation than company B. An amalgamation merger, also called a consolidation merger, is to create an entirely new company upon two or more companies uniting, usually under a new name. But relatively, this type of merger may require a more complex procedure than an absorption merger. It would also be involved with the problem of leaving the existing goodwill. So an amalgamation or consolidation merger may be used in exceptional cases. For example, smaller companies can be consolidated into a new company to become a much larger one. Or sometimes, previous companies have promising technologies or goodwill but struggle with lawsuits. In such a case, they may leave the existing ones and form a new one. As a result, in both types of mergers, two or more businesses are combined into one entity. The assets and liabilities from the two old companies will then be reported on just one joint financial statement. Why do companies merge? We will now look at the incentives behind a merger. Like in all business activities, the main goal behind M&A is to maximize shareholder value, reduce competition, and gain a competitive advantage in the market. Firstly, one company could achieve and utilize synergies with another company if they were to merge. If, after synergy analysis, a merged entity was deemed to have a high level of synergy, the entity would have a better position in the market and a greater competitive advantage. So what is synergy? A merged company would have a larger pool of resources, potentially a better financial status, and possibly an economy of scale. This is an economic phenomenon when it costs less to produce more goods or services. These attributes can be seen as a beneficial synergistic effect. It provides the company with a significant advantage over its competitors. This graph helps visualize the idea of synergy. The synergy effect in business occurs when two companies cooperate and later generate a much better result than they would have if they had stayed separate, whether that be in revenue, market share, or profits. Take this graph to help visualize what synergy looks like. Let's say company A earns $4 million a year, and company B earns $3 million a year. If the two were to merge, we would expect their joint revenue to be $7 million. However, due to a positive synergy between the companies, they can amplify their sales beyond $7 million. This circumstance could occur, for example, because Company A can now sell to Company B's customers and vice versa. There are plenty more competitive advantages that can follow from companies merging. Another advantage can include improving cost efficiencies, allowing the company to use less funds without compromising quantity or quality. A prime example of this in M&A falls under marketing. In theory, the marketing budget per company should be halved after the merger itself, saving on costs and boosting their profit. This graphic provides a good visualization of higher cost efficiency. Say Company A spends $4 per unit good, and Company B spends $3 per unit good. You would expect their combined cost to be $4 per unit good. However, due to improved cost efficiency, the cost per unit good ends up being cheaper than when the companies were separated. Therefore, the company's overall unit good would be less than $3. Cost synergies surrounding successful mergers can arise from laying off employees, sharing technology and patents, or one of the company's research and development resources. Another example can be thought of in cross-border mergers. Merging with a company in another country or region opens them up to a brand new market and infrastructure, which would be much quicker and cheaper than attempting to complete it solo. Now that we understand the fundamentals and incentives of a merger, we can look at a case study of Kraft and Heinz Corporation, completed in 2015. The $45 billion amalgamation merger opened both companies up to new locations in which they previously had a low market share. The incentive behind the deal was purely geographical. Heinz had already obtained a global reach, with 60% of the sales coming from outside the US, while Kraft Foods was quite the opposite. If the two were to merge, Kraft Foods could easily push its products into the international market. This was a key component to completing the merger. The joint venture initially succeeded. Kraft Heinz became a top 5 food and beverage company globally and top 3 in the US. From this graph, we can understand clearly how mergers can benefit both companies and expand their financial assets. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is Ollie saying I'll see you on the next one.